This is the Transformers Generations Studio Series from the movie Transformers Rise of the Beasts, figure number 105, Deluxe Class Autobot Mirage. Man, there's so much hype about this figure. All, if not most of the online shops, hobby shops, all pre-orders are like sold out. Even online stores and all that. No idea why. I mean, everyone just wants this figure. Out here in Manila, people are selling this thing for like what, $39, $38, and people are gobbling it up. So I wanted to find out what the fuss, what the hype was all about. I never really liked this character in the movie. It was one of my least favorite ones, but I don't know. There's something about the figure that's quite intriguing. Like I said, there's so much hype about this figure. Decided to get one and show it off to you guys. I picked up this figure from Robo. Let's get this guy out of packaging.
I'm gonna need you to take the wheel.
And here is the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Mirage out of the box, and boy, this figure turned out horrible. Man, I do not like this figure. There's just too much kibble on this figure. He's not a lot of fun to play with. Transformation is just horrible engineering. The alt mode is acceptable. We'll talk about that later. The only thing I do find positive in this figure is, well, it's got a pretty good head sculpt, and the alt mode turned out aesthetically pretty accurate and pretty good because of that silver paint. But when Hasbro and Takara Tomy launched the Studio Series line, they were just marketing it like it was for the hardcore collector. They were going to charge extra for it because they're going to put a lot of money in engineering. The budget was going to go into design, into accuracy, into movie accuracy, fantastic details, engineering, and all that. And look how much budget and funding they put into all this kibble for this figure. Just look at this. It's one big hot mess. Let's take a closer look at the details of this new Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Mirage. The figure stands at about 12.5 centimeters tall, or about 5 inches tall. For comparisons, here he is with the rest of the Studio Series Autobots from the Rise of the Beasts line. We have Voyager Class Optimus Prime, Core Class Arcee, and Deluxe Class Bumblebee. So is the scale correct? It's acceptable. And if you want to see how he scales with mainline Rise of the Beasts figures, here he is with the Weaponizer Arcee. And finally, here he is with the mainline Deluxe Class Mirage. And well, obviously, he does probably more accurate. There's a lot more detail, but also more kibble. I do like the fact that this figure is a lot more streamlined and a lot easier to transform than him. This one has the battle mask. He's got the open face. Neither one, to me, is super accurate to how he looked like in the movie, although this one has the better colors, probably the better sculpting, probably the better head sculpt. Even the weapon on this one is much better because it fits on either hand. This one fits only, I think, best with the left hand. So yeah, which one's better? Obviously this one is better, but if you just need a Mirage on your desk, I see no reason why you can't just pick up this one, because this one is just extremely difficult to find nowadays. Maybe give it take a few more months here and there. We'll probably find this one on clearance stores. But for now, everyone just seems to want this figure. So if you just want a Mirage on your desk, this one I think is fine. Color-wise, obviously this one's better. The only difference this one does better is I think he's got less kibble than this figure. So on to the craptastic details of the figure. Let's begin with some factory defects. I mean, look at this. You've probably seen it as the video has been progressing. He's got 2 left fists. There's really no way you could see this because he comes packaged with a very small window. And yeah, 2 left fists. I mean, I've been having this streak of bad luck with Hasbro products since 2007. There's absolutely no reason why it should stop. My bad luck from Hasbro is as consistent as ever. That sucks. It's not such a big deal because, you know, you can cover it up with a weapon and there you go, problem solved. You're not going to be able to see it. It is just annoying that even to this day and age, where Hasbro's been doing this for years, for almost 2 decades, they still can't address quality issues. Let's talk about kibble. There's absolutely no excuse for this. I mean, look at the ton of kibble. They could have easily engineered this to fold, possibly in a more compact, compressed mode, but no, they decided to go lazy and everything's just all over the place. This is not how Mirage looked like. He's just carrying so much kibble. He's got clear plastic forearms. Wow, good job, Hasbro. Man, more clear plastic here and there. Look at the feet. I mean, seriously, this is where the budget goes. The engineering and design, fantastic, Hasbro. Good job spending money on kibble. Okay, plastic quality, well, I'll admit, plastic quality is not so bad. Does feel light, but plastic is pretty solid, even the clear plastic. Much better than Battle Trap. And like I said, this gun will fit on either hand. We'll put it right here on his left hand. Now, if you've got some blast effects with you from the Legacy line, you can... Yeah, okay, let me get a bigger blast effect. Maybe this will work. Okay. Wow. So was this part of the design to make it really that big and not blast effect compatible? Again, good job, Hasbro. Good job making this figure a lot of fun. So kibble everywhere, articulation for the figure. He's got a ball jointed neck and a fantastic head sculpt. If I may add, that's probably one of the good things about this figure. Look at that, but it's not accurate. Paint, there's some splotching here and there of the metallic blue, but okay. He's got a waist swivel. He's got a ball jointed shoulder with a little bit of a hinge because of transformation. Bicep swivel, hinge elbow, swivel wrists, ball jointed hips. There's a thigh swivel, but severely hindered by all this kibble. Hinge knees, ball jointed ankles that work as up and down motion, and rocker joints. There's a bit of toe articulation because of transformation. Paint apps for the figure, decent enough, except for the face. There's some splotching here and there, but everything else, hardly any scratching. Pretty good on that front. And now for the dreaded transformation. Put the weapon off to the side. Go ahead and pop up this kibble right here, and it's a very, very tight squeeze. So, no measuring instruments at the design lab of Hasbro. Unbelievable. Okay, straighten that up. Go ahead and just pop out this part right here. This one, again, cringe-worthy hinges. You put that back in like that, and then you pop it out like that. Next thing you want to do is you want to split the chest, fold it up, put it straightened out like that. Then you want to rotate this waist assembly. I mean, it hits everything. And then what you want to do, well, you can transform the limbs first. That's what the instructions tell you to do. And the instructions tell you to do this bit last. And it's you want to flip the hinges inward of the ab crunch. My suggestion is you do it now, because once you've transformed everything, it is going to be very difficult to just transform this waist piece right here. So what you want to do is you want to unfold that ab section, fold it down up and around like this, and then straighten out the legs. That is the final position of that piece. Can you imagine how difficult it is to do that once everything's transformed? So my suggestion is do that thing first. Go ahead and rotate the feet. Go ahead and rotate these pieces down. You want to transform the arms as you would the old Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee. And the way to do it is you fold the shoulders inside onto the abdomen. It feels like you're transforming an old Revenge of the Fallen figure of Bumblebee. And that is how annoying this thing is. So fold the doors out like this, and go ahead and collapse the bumper. And then tab these things in. Okay, at this point, you want to go ahead and line up the knees. Fold the wheels out Join the feet together. You can kind of see where this thing is going, but it's a lot of finagling, a lot of finessing. The tabs that are most difficult to do are the roof tabs. You're going to tab onto the legs right here in the rear windshield, and then the roof just tabs onto the arms. My suggestion is you try and do that now, because the instructions tell you to do that last in the end, and it's going to be very, very difficult to do so. Okay, finally, you just collapse everything. Okay. The wheels, again, another tight squeeze. You fold and hope to the allspark that tab does not break, and just collapse that wheel assembly, front wheel assembly, onto the fenders. I mean, there is no excuse for this. It is ridiculously tight. I mean, come on. Don't you guys measure stuff? Buy a ruler. Okay, and then just collapse and tab the legs, the panels, tab in, and finally, you want to squeeze in that rear windshield and just tab it onto the legs. Okay. So once you've tabbed the rear windshield, go ahead and try and just fix everything. And then the rear part of the Porsche, just try and tab that in. And then finally, you need to flip down the toes. And that's that. That is essentially the car mode of Mirage. And you can see how much gaps. I mean, don't people measure things? Okay, and then the weapon will slot in here. I thought that was nice that you could slot in that weapon and cover up all the empty spaces, but essentially that's that. That is Mirage in its Porsche alt mode, and it kind of rolls very nicely, even with the mushroom peg wheels. Color looks fantastic. I love the silver metallic blue paint apps, but there's just too much gaps. Horrible transformation. It is a pain just to get this guy from one mode to the other. It is not fun at all. Absolutely hate it. Hate that engineering. And for comparisons in alt mode, here is Mirage with the rest of the Studio Series Autobots. So you got a Voyager class Optimus Prime, we've got Deluxe class Bumblebee, and Core class Arcee. So he does fit nicely with the rest of the gang. Is he a little off scale? Maybe, but it's a good enough scale. And here he is with the Rise of the Beast mainline Deluxe class Mirage, and obviously, aesthetically speaking, he is the better figure at all fronts, all points. Paint apps, design, accuracy. Obviously, he's so much better, but look at the gaps. I think that this figure does it better. There's so much gaps in alt mode with this one. If you just need a Mirage on your desk, you don't have to go out and spend too much time and effort and money trying to track this one down. The main line, I think, will do if you just need one for your desk. That doesn't look like too much like a kiddie toy. I think this one is okay, but cost-wise, if you can find both on the pegs on the shelf, here in Asia at least, this one costs like what, $10 more expensive than this one? It's crazy. Obviously, this is the one you want to have, but this one I think will do if you can't find this one. And here is the street diorama that came with this figure. Not too bad. Actually looks better placing him in alt mode on front of the backdrop. And so some final thoughts on the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Mirage. Well, I think I've just about had it with this character. I honestly never liked him in the movie. I thought he was one of the more annoying characters in the Movieverse Transformers franchise. The figures are, in all honesty, lackluster. I think they could have done a better job considering he's the most popular character in the movie. But sadly, both the mainline and the Studio Series figure It just wasn't working for me. The only reason I can think of why I would recommend this figure, or why anybody would pick up this figure, is so you can complete your Studio Series lineup of Autobots for Rise of the Beasts. Other than that, it's really not a fun figure. There's just way too much inexcusable kibble on this figure. The engineering is horrible. Transformation was just a pain. Aesthetic, design, it was just all over the place. The only good thing about it is the silver paint. It's sort of the alt mode, okay, and that head sculpt, but everything else is just craptastic on this figure. The figure is gonna get a 3 out of 10, and that's me being generous. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Studio Series from the movie Rise of the Beasts, Deluxe Class Mirage. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.